Hello, I think I might be live. I hope I am. I'm going to make some adjustments to the camera, so you might see the screen change a little bit. And my apologies if you see that. It might take a minute to populate here. So please hang on just a second. I'm going to try to refocus here. It might get a little dark. We will see. I'm trying to get things going here. I think that's a little better. I'm going to try to fix this, guys. Sorry, sometimes it takes a while. Hello, I hope you're all doing very well. It is just about time for our class at 6:30 right now. Hi, Callie. So this is a quick overview of basically how I avoid cheating and how I have a lot of my clients avoid cheating. We are going to be going over some things that are not covered in my upcoming boot camp. A lot of this is just kind of the basics. And in the boot camp, we go really in depth. So if you signed up for the boot camp and you're registered, we're starting Saturday. If you've done that, I don't want you to feel like, oh, this class is free. What did I get? Because this is different stuff. This is kind of like baby steps for THM and just some basic principles. This is not what we're going to be doing in boot camp. So this is different. I don't want anybody to worry. But I will mention boot camp a couple times in here because there are some things you may need to hold off on if you're considering or if you're in the boot camp. We're going to be taking things, we take a really systematic approach and take one thing at a time and work on building those THM habits to make the plan nice and easy for you going forward. So today, what we're talking about is how to stick to it and stop cheating. Hi, Donna. Hi, Holly. Hi, Carrie. Hi, Gaming Grandma. That's a fun name. I'm so glad you guys are joining me today and giving up part of your evening to talk about sticking to the THM plan. Just a little bit about myself. I am a THM certified lifestyle coach. I have been since the coaching program was implemented. I have been on plan since 2012, December of 2012, when the original book was published in September and I got on plan in December. So I have fluctuated my weight several times. I've coached hundreds of women on THM and I've enjoyed every second of it. I blog at thewellplannedkitchen.com and I try to share a lot of THM tips. I'm a single mom, 5 kids. I don't know what else to say about myself. I really love sugar. I used to be a soda addict and I completely successfully quit soda, but not right away on plan. I had to struggle through that. So if you struggle with that, I feel you. I know how hard that is. So that's enough about me. That's just a little bit about who I am. I know we have a bunch of new people joining today. I also host 6-week boot camps where I coach groups of women to reach their THM goals. We usually work on making the plan a doable lifestyle instead of a diet. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in. This isn't going to be a super long session. The idea here is to help you stop cheating. However, there are so many caveats to this, right? If I tell you to do something or to try something and you're doing it, you're trying it, and you are feeling like the plan isn't doable, I'm not your coach. I'm just helping you out with some information as a blogger more than anything as a THM friendly blogger. If I tell you to do something and you try it and you feel like this isn't doable, I want to quit this plan, I want you to stop doing that thing. A good example is some of my clients with stubborn weight. One of the first things that we'll do is we'll pull back on dairy. And when I'm working with someone, I can watch them and see, are they feeling defeated? Are they struggling a little bit more? Are they telling me that, if I say reduce dairy and then over the next 3 days they start cheating, we will just add that dairy back in because slow weight loss is better than no weight loss. And if you pull the dairy but add in sugar, you're not going to be losing anything. You might be gaining. So my point is, if I tell you something that doesn't work for you, that's okay. This is not a THM principles class. This is just some ideas to help you stick to the plan. So just keep that in mind as I'm talking. If I tell you to try something, like just for example, if I said pull dairy, try not having so much dairy, and then you do that and you find yourself reaching for those off-plan foods more often, add the dairy back in. Dairy's on plan. It's allowed. I would rather have you doing something that maybe THM doesn't love, but it's on plan, over going off plan and just cheating all the time. I hope that makes sense for you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and look at the questions real quick. I'll answer more at the end. Julie, you can email me at coaching@thewellplannedkitchen.com. It's always the day before we start. So if you want to email me there, we can definitely chat more about that. And Sandy, hi. And hi, Amy. I'm glad your son's username was able to join us today. So hi, Rebecca. I'm so glad you guys are all here. So I'm just going to give you some of my main principles for not cheating on THM, if that makes sense. So I found that there are a lot of different types of cheaters. Some people are the sugar cheaters. Some people are the salty cheaters. Some people are the kinds of cheaters where, like, let's say you go to Outback Steakhouse and it's a special occasion and you've been on plan and you've been killing it and you're doing great, and then the bread comes out and you're like, nope, I'm doing good, I'm not having that tonight. And then you start thinking and you're like, well, it wouldn't really hurt to have one small piece of bread. I've been so good lately. I think it's not going to hurt to just have a little bit. And then you have a little bit, and then you're like, well, I might as well order the macaroni and cheese and some baked potatoes, and you just kind of go nuts. Some people are just like little off-plan nibblers that adds up to a lot of being off-plan. But the problem is that lots of us cheat in different ways at different times. So the first thing I want to talk about is we're going to talk a little bit about planning, a little bit about different ways to avoid it. But what I want you to think about the most is a lot of times when we look forward to eating something off plan, let's say you want that bread and you think about that bread. The bread is good, but is it worth it? It's really important to examine when we eat something off plan. Do I feel good about that choice? Do I feel shame or guilt? Do I feel happy that I made that choice? Am I thrilled that I ate that thing? Was that the thing that satisfied all of my cravings and was the end all be all? Most of the time, it's not going to be that way. Most of the time, when we go off plan, we're going to be just unsatisfied with what we did. There are very few things that are worth it. There is one restaurant that has one pie. I go there on my birthday and I feel like it's worth it. I don't feel guilty afterwards. I'm just like, hey, it's once a year. I don't really eat sugar other than this. And I can kind of feel okay about going off plan. But everything else, like if I steal one of my kids' Kinder eggs, not that that's ever happened, I'm not going to be happy that I ate it. I'm going to be wishing that I just had stuck to the plan and felt better. A lot of times it's important to note if there are any symptoms or anything that happens to you after you go off plan. A lot of times we kind of just brush it all away. But most of the time, there will be something. We might feel lethargic. We might feel sleepy. We might feel have some tummy upsets. Our blood sugar might go crazy. So it is important to really think about how you feel after an on-plan meal versus an off-plan meal. Okay, so that's number one, is think about how you feel afterwards and always ask yourself, is it worth it? Number two, always start eating well right now. Okay. I used to be the queen of I'll start Monday. For some reason, Monday is my day. For a lot of you, I think it's tomorrow. I'll start tomorrow. I'll start after the new year. I'll start after my birthday week. I'll start Wednesday. And while we have this picture of this neat and tidy, I'm going to start, or I'll get back on track then. The problem is we fill the time between now and Monday, or now and tomorrow, with junk. And not to sound too harsh, but we treat our bodies like trash cans, and we will just like pack it in and not be doing very well, but convince ourselves that it's worth it and it's delicious and it's good and we don't need to do anything to get on track right now. We'll just do it later. The problem, there's so many problems with that, right? Because a lot of times we don't do it. So we're packing in the junk. Then that day comes around, and if we blow it once, we are finished. We are like, oh, well, I already ate this, so I might as well eat this stuff too. Man, it's just not a good way to live, because think of all the damage you're doing to yourself while you're cramming in all of that junk food. And it doesn't have to be like sugary junk food. It could just be food that's not good for you and off plan. So I want you to change your mindset. Number 2 is change your mindset from I'll start Monday or I'll start tomorrow to I'm starting right now. Even during this class, if you decided that the next thing you eat is going to be 100% on plan and everything after that is going to be 100% on plan, you will be light years ahead of the game. If you decide, I'm sick of this, I am sick of the way that I feel a lot of the time, I'm sick of not getting the results that I was hoping for, and I'm just going to be on plan starting right now, that's the kind of thing, the kind of attitude that will really help you a lot. So I've done a ton of reading about willpower and about sticking to diets. And the key I've found, and THM is so great about talking about this. If you listen to the podcast, read the books, look at the website, if you treat it like a diet, you can almost guarantee you're going to be going off your diet. If you treat it like a lifestyle, this is my life. This is who I am. I am a trim, healthy mama. I am someone who eats so healthy. I am someone who treats my body well. I look forward to eating my healthy foods. That's going to be one of the keys to making it easier on yourself. If you get in the mentality of, well, I'm on this diet and I can't have that, so I'm going to have this instead. Man, you'll always feel deprived. It's not worth it. It's not a good way to go. Instead, if it's who you are and it's your lifestyle, then you don't mind so much going to Outback and skipping the bread and get one of their really yummy salads with the cheese and cucumbers and tomatoes and skipping the croutons because you're eating something really good. By the way, they have, I think it's called an Alice Springs salad that's so good. It's like a big Cobb salad, but with good cheese instead of blue cheese. Sorry, I don't like blue cheese. But it's really yummy. You just have to make sure you don't get any bread or croutons or anything. There are foods available at everywhere. Like you can get THM food just about anywhere. I have gone to taco places. Taco Bell's a little hard because at least they used to, I haven't checked in a while, they used to add wheat flour to some of their meat or wheat starch. And so that's not on plan. But a little tip for you, I take a baggie of low carb tortillas with me. I keep them in my car. I have a lot of other stuff. I have other videos that you guys might like that explains what my system for taking things with me and staying on plan out of the house. But I will take some tortillas with me and I will, if I can stop by a taco place, like I said, Taco Bell's not the best, but some other places, I will just transfer the filling from the taco to one of my low carb tacos and it's on plan that way. Another thing I like to do is go to Chick-fil-A. I did this morning and you can get like the eggs and sausage and salsa and in a breakfast burrito, and I just take it out of their burrito and I put it in my low carb tortilla and then I have it on plan breakfast and it's very, very yummy. So, so as you are getting back on plan or refocusing, it's really important just to make it as easy on yourself as you can. Okay. So make sure one of the basic principles that you follow is making it more of a lifestyle, less of a diet. The more it's a lifestyle, the better you'll be able to stick to it in most cases. So that's the next thing. I also want to cover, so we want you to not be worrying about starting tomorrow, start right now. Another quick little comment is if you are feeling hungry or feeling munchy, ask yourself how hungry you really are. A lot of times when my clients tend to go off plan, they'll be eating something that is, well, here, let me give a good example. Okay, so a lot of people will like snatch food while they're cooking, while they're making dinner, while they're like doing something in the kitchen, they'll just be snacking. If you're feeling snacky, it's really good to evaluate if you're actually feeling hunger. So sometimes we eat out of boredom. Sometimes we're thirsty and it feels hungry. So a good thing to do is I like to pick a vegetable that I don't like. And when I'm feeling snacky or hungry or just want to eat, I will ask myself, could I eat peas right now? If I'm not going to eat peas, I'm probably not that hungry. And while on THM, we can eat a lot of things on plan. We can eat tons and tons of stuff that's on plan. Um, you don't always have to be eating. And sometimes when we're more likely to cheat, it's when we're in that snacky mode and then we are like grabbing little bites of things and we keep going and we're not satisfied. So then we try something else and then we see a candy bar. Not that that's ever happened to me, or somebody else has something that's off plan that we want to eat. There's a lot of scenarios we could go over where some of us cheat and go off plan. But my point is, some of us, not me. No, I'm just kidding. Everybody does it. My point is that if you are able to be focused on really evaluating whether you're hungry or not, that will help you. And I'm going to go back to the questions real quick. Okay, some of these I will answer at the end. I will definitely answer questions at the end. Yes, you can type them in there, but I do want to address Gaming Grandma's comment that peanuts are kryptonite, because that's another thing. Peanuts are a heavy S. A lot of times, if I have someone who's struggling to lose, they could be nuts all the time, and we need to reduce them a little bit because that can be a lot of fat. That's like a heavy food. So while that's okay in moderation, if you're doing that all the time, sometimes it is good to ask yourself, am I really hungry? Is this something I really need? Could I eat peas instead? Could I eat Brussels sprouts right now instead? Am I hungry enough for that? And if you are hungry enough to be eating something that you don't love, maybe, or isn't your favorite, then it's okay to eat something. But if you're struggling with eating all the time or going off plan, it might not hurt to just think about, is this something that I would really eat anything in this scenario? If you do go off plan really quickly, I put a link to some deep S meals. If you do go off plan, THM wants you to have some deep S meals to get back on track. There's a lot in the book about how the deep S meals work. And then I'm going to finish up. Like I said, this is just a quick little thing because in the free challenge group, so many people seem to be struggling with staying on plan. So I was hoping to help just a little bit with a couple tips. And again, trying to have different tips than what we cover in boot camp. So there's a phrase that goes, okay, bear with me here. Proper planning prevents poor performance. So it's the 5 P's. So if you don't ever plan anything and you just rely on your willpower and you think, I can say no to these things, I'm strong enough, I've got this, you do have it, yeah. But you have to think about how you can't always fly by the seat of your pants. So that's why in the last challenge, we wanted to have intention and we wanted to make a meal plan, make a backup plan, make a plan for eating out if that doesn't work, because life isn't perfect and you're not going to be able to do those things. So I want you to think through. I read an article once that talked about, and it was a business article, but it talked about having if-then situations established. So if I'm too tired, if I'm too busy, if I don't have time, then I will do this. So an example would be, I have my meal plan, I have my THM meal figured out, but if I can't make it, then I'll do this. Or if everybody wants Chinese food, this is the food that I will order. Or if you're like me and the Chinese food without the sauces is just not worth it, if everyone has Chinese food, I'm going to have this special THM treat instead so I don't feel like I'm missing out. Or if it's pizza night, then I will make this THM pizza. Or if I run out of time to make dinner, we're going to have a snack dinner and we're going to pull a bunch of healthy low carb snacks together. And my kids love doing that. They think it's so much fun. But the idea is, if you are someone who has any kind of normal life where things come up and you can't make dinner the way you planned, you need to have your backups and your scenarios in place. That's where those habits, and that's what we just talked about in the last challenge, will kick in and help you stay on plan and make it even easier. So for some people, you have to evaluate, and this isn't in my notes, I'm just going to talk about it anyway. For some people, you have to evaluate if you're eating more off plan at home or out. Let's say you're eating more off plan at home, then you may need to ask your family if you can get rid of some stuff for a while. I ended up donating a lot of food when I started THM because I couldn't handle keeping it in the house. And the whole family was benefiting from eating healthy. It doesn't hurt. It is a little challenging sometimes, but I really had gotten my kids back to like fruit and string cheese and yogurt for snacks. And then, maybe once a week we had chips. We haven't done so great with that since, quarantine started and all of that kind of stuff. But my point is, if you are able to get that stuff out of the house, sometimes that's a key. If you're a soda drinker, stop buying soda. If you are a sugar eater, stop bringing sugar in your house. If your kids keep making cookies that you're like, wow, how do we, get back on track? And how do we, my kids are making these cookies. Just remember, your kids can also make on-plan cookies. You can show them how. There's some great recipes now. It's not like when THM first started and there were not very many good recipes out there. There's tons of stuff. By the way, my favorite dessert blog for THM is alldayidreamaboutfood.com. It is a low carb blog, so all S recipes. Man, I just made her Starbucks cream cheese pumpkin muffins, and they are so good. And my favorite super quick dessert is my brownie batter in a mug. That's the wellplannedkitchen.com. It just takes a minute or two. So if you're having a sweet craving, you can do that. My point is, be prepared. Have some things ready. If you are a cheater at home, get that stuff out of there. If you're a cheater out of the house, stop eating out. I know, but if you can make a couple weeks, like just make a commitment for 1 to 2 weeks to not eat out of the house. If that's where you're cheating, then that's what you've got to do. If you're cheating with donuts in the break room, stay out of the break room. I'm all about avoidance when it comes to, you don't need exposure therapy. That's just going to get you eating the donuts. So if you are able to get your mindset just a little different, avoid those things. I used to only have a soda when I would go to Chick-fil-A. So that was like the thing that I did. I was like, oh, well, I'm not really having soda. I only have it at Chick-fil-A. And I was did I sound pretentious talking about Chick-fil-A? Because that's kind of funny. I didn't mean to. But then I would be driving through Chick-fil-A all the time just for a soda. So what I had to do, I can't avoid Chick-fil-A. Just can't do it. Don't really want to. But I would be driving through, and I stopped. I set a goal for 30 days. I did not have any soda with my food. I didn't have any drink at all. So I would have a meal and no drink, not even water. And then about 10 minutes later, I would let myself have some water. And breaking that association of having a drink with the meal helped me to quit soda so much. Something that helps me quit dessert was not having anything sweet after dinner. This isn't going to work for everybody. Some people need something sweet. And that's where, like, even having a nibble of Lily's chocolate or something that's on plan and smaller, like that brownie batter in a mug. Some people really need that, and that's okay. But I had to break that habit of sugar. And so for me, that meant nothing sweet. Now, that only lasted for like 2 weeks before I started adding in THM desserts. But whatever works for you, that's what I'm saying. You need to figure out what's going to work for you to completely break free. And another thing that I have found is that everybody seems to have a different threshold. Everybody seems to have a different, okay, for me, let's say it took me 14 days to quit sugar and not crave it anymore, or 14 days on plan until it clicked and I felt good and I wasn't tempted. With almost every client that I work with, at some point, they're not tempted to go off plan anymore. They stay on plan consistently, and then they lose that desire to be eating off plan. To a degree, of course, it can happen from time to time. But for me, let's say it's 14 days. For you, it might be 16 days. For someone else, it might be 3 days. The problem that I see all the time, and I've already gone over our 20-minute time. I'm sorry, guys, but the problem I see all the time, and I'm telling you this is just advice as a blogger. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not an expert. I am a certified THM lifestyle coach, so I know more about THM, but Take this with a grain of salt, do your own research, see what works for you. This is just free chit chatting about staying on plan. But if you are someone who finds that let's say you always can stay on plan for 4 or 5 days, and then you mess up and go off plan, and then you kind of stay off plan for a while, and then you try again, and you keep going back and forth, and then eventually you're like, why can't I do this? I can never do this. I don't understand why. Most of the time, what I find, and this is just anecdotal, what I've observed, is people give in right when they're at the hardest part, and they just need to push through the next day, push through one more day, one more meal, and then it's a little easier. And then it's even easier after that. If we always give in right at that cusp of being successful, you're not going to be able to figure out, how to ever stick to the plan, like fully stick to it. So if it's your lifestyle, I want you to think about, if I'm about to give in right now, am I at that threshold? Maybe if I stick with it, I'll have an easier time next time. Maybe if I stick with it, I'm right there at that point where the plan's going to be super easy if I just push through. Think through that. I just want you to be aware that I think everybody's capable of this. It's just something that we just have like self-defeating thoughts and ideas, and we sabotage ourselves. But a lot of times, if you can push through, the other thing I found is a lot of people need to say no a certain number of times before it's cake for them. So like, let's say I'm faced with a soda. It was Dr. Pepper. So let's say somebody gave me a Dr. Pepper and I said, oh, it's so hard, but I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no to that Dr. Pepper. Then the next one comes and I'm driving through Chick-fil-A and I'm like, oh, I have to do it again. No more Dr. Pepper. And I say no to it. There will be a number of times that I will have to say no. Sometimes it's 5 times, sometimes it's 10 times. But once I get through that initial small number, I'm going to be in good shape. I'm going to feel great about saying no. I'm not going to have the cravings anymore. I'm going to see the difference in my lifestyle from not having it. So as I keep going, sometimes it helps to put like 10 squares on your calendar and mark off 10 times that you say no to something. Sometimes that's all we really need, and that's what can help the most. So keep that in mind. That might be a little something that helps you. I'm going to answer the questions before I hop off for the night. So Sandy said that you figure if you mess up 3 hours later, you're back on plan. That's true and good, but I would like you to readjust your mindset. And if some of you are signed up for boot camp, we'll talk a lot about this, but instead of starting over in 3 hours, sometimes I find that we squish in a lot of cheating in those 3 hours. I would like you, if you go off plan, get right back on plan immediately and don't wait the 3 hours. Get back on plan with an FP snack or something that's really THM, that is a true THM food or something of that nature, and be back on plan as soon as you get off. And in fact, if you ever take a bite of something off plan, a bite of something sugary, a bite of something that's bad for you, and you can stop eating it and throw it away, it seems to speed up that process of getting back on track. So let's see. I give up because I struggle with e-meals and just go to S or go off. So you do need 5 to 7 E's in every week. And sometimes, so if you're struggling with the different fuel types and sticking to the plan because of that, I would go back and just use the THM books for a while. There's plenty of e-recipes in there. They explain exactly what they are. They're excellent. I would do that if I were struggling with going off plan when I have an E, and only maybe for a week eat from the THM books only. It's actually kind of a fun thing to do anyway. And sometimes when I have somebody with a stall, if we just do THM recipes for 7 days, they see a difference. So that's kind of fun. The next question is Diet Coke off plan? Yes, it is. Diet sodas are off plan. Holly said she loves that blog. Oh, that was alldayadreamaboutfood.com. That is one of my favorites too. It's so good. Okay, my husband is finally on board. He made some tomato soup from our garden. What should we pair that with? If it's on plan, you could make a grilled cheese with some wonderful white blender bread from Trim Healthy Table. You could make, there's a lot of cracker recipes in Trim Healthy Table. You could have a light rye wasa cracker from the store. There's a lot of stuff you could do. There's some THM tomato soup recipes in the cookbook, and I think in Trim Healthy Table too. And they have some more ideas. They have the crunchy puffs that they make. Those are really good in something like that. So there's a lot of things you could do. And Caitlin said, what is your opinion of Zevia instead of normal soda? Zevia is on plan, so that's totally fine. I think as long as you're staying hydrated, it's okay to have some of those things. So I hope that is helpful for you guys. We just kind of went over some cheating basics. I did put some links to boot camp. There's one spot left, and this is the one that I'm including all of my THM helpful books with. A year of meal plans and some a meal prep book, and a lot of stuff. And then also my self-paced holiday program to help you go through October, go through Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. That is $99, and it's included for free with the boot camp. So that's the only time I'm going to be doing all of that stuff included with boot camp, but hopefully that'll be really helpful for you guys. And that is just a self-guided like course type thing with workbooks that you just to help you get through the holidays. So that will start as soon as boot camp is over. So if you sign up for the 6-week boot camp, you'll get access to that holiday thing immediately after, and you can follow that on your own through Christmas. So hopefully that will help. And I hope you all have a great day. If you guys liked this, if you want to comment and let me know, I've been thinking that a lot of times before a boot camp session, people want help sticking to the plan before we start. So I don't mind doing a free little bonus video and hopefully encouraging the rest of you too, and encouraging them to stay on plan before we get started. So if you guys like this, let me know. And I hope you all have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.